Hello. So I got a request to break down a few of the yoga poses. And so today's practice begins with a little bit of breath work, followed by some simple movements to warm up the body. And then I break down the sun salutations, Surya Namaskara A and B after that. I hope you enjoy it.
You can begin in sort of Sukhasana, easy seated pose. So if you perch up on the block and just go ahead and send your feet out like this. If this isn't comfortable, sometimes you can put something along here. You can also sit like this. See if you can deepen your breath. So maybe you close your eyes or maybe you keep them open. It doesn't matter. But just inhale as deep as you can and exhale. And inhale, expanding. Exhale, getting smaller. Inhale again. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Now you probably notice that I'm making this kind of almost Darth Vader-ish kind of like sound. There's a contraction that yogis use to create that sound. It's kind of your glottis inside your throat. It just constricts a little bit, makes the hole a little bit smaller, and it slows the air coming in and it slows the air coming out, and in doing so you can control the breath. And we do that through the yoga practice, and the sound is something that you can listen to and you can notice, like, is your breath choppy? Is it, you're really having a hard time getting that air in or fully exhaling? There's a lot you can learn in just paying attention to your breath. And so maybe you need to close your eyes to notice that. And how you create that sound, I've heard it's kind of like you were, like if you had a mirror and you're fogging up the mirror. You know how you go, and it closes in? It's the same kind of closing in of the airway a little bit. So let's go ahead and trying to keep that nice slow movement with our breath. I'm going to go ahead and add some movement that's going to mirror up or connect up with the breath. Let's just go ahead and start however you're seated. Bring your arms kind of out to the side and up and down. Simple, right? But we're going to inhale and exhale. And what I want you to try and do is have your movement end when your inhale ends, and your movement end as your exhale ends. And so you're trying to control the movement and the way the body flows, and you're also trying to slow down the breath to match the movement. And that's kind of what makes the practice more meditative, right? So inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Okay, let's go ahead and inhale. Bring your arms up interlace your fingers and go ahead and flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And reach. And exhale. Come over to the side. Inhale here. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale all the way up. And exhale to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale back up to center. And exhale, hands down to your side. Nice. Let's go ahead and come off our little perch. You can set that off to the side, but handy if you need it. You're going to come onto your hands and knees. And so my knees are spaced out, hip width apart. Tops of my feet are on the mat. And I'm trying to bring my pinky toes down towards the mat, but they tend to move in. So you're just trying to keep the whole foot in contact with the mat as much as possible. So let's go ahead and sit down, and then we're going to inhale. Come up, bring your hands up to touch. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, come on down. Again, inhale. And exhale. Nice. Okay, inhale. And exhale, bring your hands down. This time, don't send your hips back. Let's just go ahead and walk our hands forward. And, sorry, I need to get a little bit. You're going to walk your hands forward. We're coming into a pose called puppy pose. So notice that my bum is over my knees. I'm going to come onto my forehead. And my forearms are going to keep me from dropping my back down. Now, this is a little bit of an arch here, a little bit of a back bend. Just settle your head down and breathe here. One more breath, inhale and exhale. And go ahead and walk your hands back up. We're going to come into child's pose with our knees wide. So your feet come together. The toes are touching, okay? Now I'm going to have my knees as wide as my mat. And I'm bringing my butt down onto my heels. Coming down. Settling my head onto the mat. And just breathing in, relaxing here. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale, find that length in your spine, and exhale. Check in with your low belly. Make sure it's pulling in enough to support that spine. Okay, so on the next inhale, come up on your fingertips and walk over to the right. And then come drop down here. And we breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and inhale, come up on your fingertips, walk back to center. And exhale, come over to the other side, lower down. Breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And on the next inhale, come up on your fingertips, inhaling over to the middle. Exhale, lower down. Couple breaths here. Inhale exhale. Inhale, push into your hands, come on up. And let's bring our knees together, keeping our toes together and our knees together. We're coming into child's pose with our knees together. Notice how that feels a little bit different. Okay, and so maybe your butt floats up. Maybe it can't come down on your heels like mine. No big deal. Okay, but you're resting your torso along your knees, dropping your head down towards the mat, and breathing here. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come up on your fingertips. Let's do repeating that side movement. So now you're past your knee and you're coming down. Notice how it feels a little different. Maybe that what you feel is on the other side of the body as it was before. Just breathe here, notice it. No forcing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come on up. Walk over to center. Exhale here. Inhale again. And exhale, walk over to the other side. Lower your head down. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come up on your fingertips. Walk back towards center. Exhaling. And inhale, drop down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come back up on hands and knees. All right. So we're going to repeat that movement that we just did. Inhaling, coming forward on the knees, arms right. Exhale. Lower down. Drop your head down. Inhale. Come on up. Walk your hands forward. Drop your belly down into cow pose. So your pelvis is rotating that way, sending your sit bones up towards the sky. Your chest is moving forward and maybe a little bit up. And you're looking up. And exhale, push back, bring your head down. Inhale, come back up onto the knees, arms right. Exhale, bring your hands down to your side. All right. Let's go ahead and come back into hands and knees. So inhale, I want you to go ahead and pick up your right leg, pushing the heel back towards the wall behind you. Breathe here. Trying to keep your shoulders, your weight even on your arms. And my shoulder creases are actually facing each other. Low belly pulling in, and I'm trying to keep that connection here. Okay? I'm going to tap it down. Bring it in. Tap it down. And let's go back into it. This time, if you want, you can lift your left arm. Left arm with the palm facing towards the side wall or towards center, reaching as the heel of the right leg reaches in the opposite direction, and we're breathing here. Trying to keep from breathing too fast. One more inhale. And exhale, bring your elbow and your knee together. Hold here. Notice, whoa. It takes a little bit of core, right? And the next inhale, reach it out long. Exhale, bring the knee and the elbow together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it together. One more time. Inhale, reach. And then let's set it down. Nice. Sit back up. Maybe you roll your shoulders one way and then the other. All right. And bring your hands back down to the mat. Let's do the other side. Okay, so inhale, pushing that heel back to the back wall. Whoa, this side, I feel this leg feels quite a bit different than the other. And maybe you notice one side feels different. We'll just breathe here and feel it. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, and exhale. All right, I think I had you tap it down, and then bring it in, and then bring it back out. All right, so can we lift the hand and the foot? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Bring the elbow and the knee together. Hold here. 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, reach it long and set it down. Let's go ahead and come back. Roll our shoulders one way and then the other. All right. Coming into down dog. All right, so I'm tucking my toes under. And before we come into down dog, let's just hover. So, again, I'm pulling my low belly in, right? And it's the muscle. So the muscle's underneath everything that might be on the outside. So it's a feeling sensation, right? So you're feeling the low belly, the muscles in there contracting and pulling towards the spine and pushing into the mat, the heels of your feet. Maybe you can even like claw the mat just gently. Hover here. Breathe in here, the knees hovering. One more inhale. And exhale. Send your hips up. Let's just stay here. Ooh, nice. Cow cramp. Okay, other side. Woo. And go ahead and come into down dog. Now I'm a little too close. So I'm going to step out a little bit. So it's a little triangle that you're creating between the mat and your torso and your legs. My weight is even in my feet and my hands. Again, the low belly is pulling just gently, hugging my spine to support it. And there's even a contraction in the pelvic floor that kind of creates this little lift. And I'm breathing. And let's go ahead and exhale, crouch down. Okay, so it's kind of like this, except your knees and your torso are together. Look forward past your hands. And then go ahead and come forward with your feet until your feet are up with your hands. And notice my knees are bent. Okay, so bend here, just relax. But maybe let's just hug our thighs. And breathe here. Inhale, your hands back on the mat, pushing into the heels, coming all the way up to stand, and then send your arms up overhead. Hands back to the side, exhale. Okay, let's try that again. This time, remember how when we were kneeling, we made it all connect so that we hit the end of the inhale with our arms rising. Well, you can do the same thing here. So you're down here, inhale, and exhale. Now let's do that again. Bend your knees, bring your hands down. Inhale, and exhale. All right, very good. All right, let's do a sun salutation. This is called, in Sanskrit, it's called Surya Namaskara, and we're doing Surya Namaskara A. So your hands are at your side. My bases of my big toe mounds, so the balls of my big toes, are together. And my heels are apart, and depending on your anatomy, your heels may be together or they may be a little bit apart. But your feet are touching. Everything is pulling in towards midline. You're finding that nice little pelvic contraction and low belly. It's all engaged, right? And you're rooting down evenly through your feet. This is called Samastiti. And let's just close our eyes and feel it. Or maybe you move your weight forward as your eyes are closed and back. And play with all of the limits of where you need to correct, right? So notice as I move my hips side to side and front to back, the body, the toes kind of root down and they help you to keep that balance. And everything hugs towards midline. Go ahead and open your eyes. So let's begin with the inhale. Reach your arms forward and up. Exhale. Fold forward. Bring your hands all the way to the mat. And then straighten your legs as whatever amount is okay with your legs. And then inhale. We halfway lift. Maybe come up on your fingertips. And for some, you may need to put your hands on your shins. Okay. And then let's go ahead and exhale, fold. And we'll go ahead and inhale, practice coming up again. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your side. So that's not the full Surya Namaskara. That's just the beginning. So inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And now bring your hands down to the mat. And on the exhale, you step your feet back. And maybe you lower down all the way. Okay. Untuck your toes. Inhale. And then come into down dog. Exhale. And breathe here. 2, 3. Inhale. 4. Inhale again. And 5. That's the last one. So bend your knees, crouch, inhale, come forward, feet to hands. And right away on that same inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms touch overhead. You're looking up at those thumbs. And exhale, hands back down to your side. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back and lower down. Now maybe you go to chaturanga, this low push-up position. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra like we did before. And then exhale, sending your hips up. Head drops last, coming into down dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. 1. Inhale. 2. Inhaling again. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Bending your knees, look forward, and maybe you can hop your feet. Hopping forward, feet to hands. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up to stand, arms touch overhead, looking up at the thumbs. Exhale, back to Samasthiti. One more time, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And notice how my hands are flat on the mat now. I don't need to come up on my fingertips. If you were on your shins, you might try seeing if you can just come up on your fingertips. And then exhale, go ahead and step back. Lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, hop, halfway lift. On that same inhale, exhale, fold forward. And inhale all the way up to stand, arms touch overhead, looking up at those thumbs. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, how'd that go? Now you might want to just try doing that a couple times on your own. You can just stop the video, give it a try. So I'm going to do this one more time. This time I'm going to do it with the Sanskrit counting, as is done in the tradition of the Ashtanga Yoga when we're doing a lead practice. And it's really like we're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, except that it's in Sanskrit. And then when you get to the down dog, the breath is in English. So, ekam is 1, inhaling, okay? So, here we go. Ekam 1, inhale, sweep your arms up. Dve, exhale, that's 2, fold forward. Trini, inhale, halfway, lift, that's 3. Chatwari, and that's on an exhale, that's 4, lower down, chaturanga. Pancha, 5, inhale, upward facing dog. Shot, 6, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one, inhale. And 5, bend your knees, inhale. This is Sapta. 7, Ashtau, exhale. Fold, that's 8. Nava, 9, inhale. Arms rise, touch overhead. And back to Samasthiti. All right, Akam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatwari, exhale. Pancha, inhale. Shot, exhale. 5 breaths here. One more, inhale. And 5, exhale. Bend your knees. Sapta, inhale, feet to hands, flat back. Ashta, exhale, fold. Nama, inhale, arms rise. And back to Samasthiti. Okay, so the next part is Surya Namaskara B. And it's similar, but it has some extra movements in it. So it has Utkatasana or chair pose. And for this one, it's similar to what we do in a vinyasa class, but instead of your feet being hip width apart, again, they're together because you're starting in samasthiti. You're gonna bend your knees and inhale, bring your arms up and the hands touch. In Ashtanga, the hands are very much coming together. You're pulling in the low belly and reaching up with your chest, with your breastbone or your sternum is reaching. And the dristi, or the gazing point, is your thumbs. Okay? Maybe I'll do another video that talks about all the dristi points. The other movement that's in there is a warrior one. And you may be familiar with warrior one, but in case you're not, one foot is forward, the other foot is back. And this back foot, my heels, or my foot is just ever so slightly turned on a diagonal so that my toes are facing towards this wall. My heel is back and I'm rooting into that leg, okay? And I'm bending this front leg. And you're trying to do this all with keeping your hips as much as possible facing straight ahead. And then what helps stabilize that is that pelvic engagement, that low belly pulling in. So on top of this movement, your arms rise, just like in Utkatasana. Your arms are a little bit forward over your head, so you can look at those thumbs. You're reaching that chest forward, but you're still trying to keep everything level, okay? And that all happens on an inhale, one breath, and an exhale down. But for this first one, we'll slow it down a little bit so you can feel it. So you do the chair pose, exhale down, inhale back to chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog, and then you come into warrior one on the right side. So another thing that's different with Ashtanga is instead of lifting that leg up and then swinging it forward and stepping it forward and then pivoting the foot down and coming into warrior one, you're going to come straight from here to bring it forward. So let's just start here in downward facing dog and let's play around with that movement of bringing your heel forward into your chest and setting it down. All right, so inhale, and then you pivot that heel down and you come up. And it doesn't matter what order you do that in. You'll see some people like to step the foot forward first and then bring it in. I find that if I do it that way, then I tend to lift my heel off the mat and are trying to keep that connection until I'm ready to let go. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So inhale, chest in, or knee to chest. And then go ahead and come in. All right, let's feel that. Let's do that again. Inhale, step it forward, pivot that heel down, just lift up. All right. So let's do the right. Inhale, step it forward, pivot that heel down, just come up a little bit, bring it down, send it back. Other side, inhale, lift it up, step it forward, pivot that heel down, and lift it up. All right, go ahead and come to the top of our mats. I think you're ready. So after the warrior one and the warrior two, we come into down dog like we did before. It's 5 breaths. All right, so let's go through it. So inhale, we sit down and you sweep your arms up. Utkatasana, or chair pose in the English. And then we exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, straighten your legs, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step your feet back, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So right away, we're coming into warrior one on the right side. So right foot steps forward, left foot pivots. Inhale, come on up. Now normally we would exhale, come right out of it, but let's go ahead and feel it here. Inhale and exhale. And notice how you can push into that front leg to kind of steer your hips forward. And you want to root into that back leg so that you're keeping your weight even on both legs. All right, exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift that leg up. Send it back. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. So right away, inhale, step that left foot forward, pivot that right foot. Lift your hands up off the mat. Find that level hips as much as you can. Arms rise. That's all in an inhale. And then we would exhale, bring your hands back down, but we're going to hang out here. Kind of play around, noticing how you can control the movement and find that balance. All right, exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Send that leg back, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Now it feels like a rest, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bend your knees on the exhale. Hop forward or step. Flat back when you land. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, we sit down, coming back into Utkatasana chair pose. And then exhale, back to Samastiti. Okay, so let's try it a little faster. All right? Bend our knees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the mat, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, lower down, all in one breath. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, right foot steps forward, left foot pivots. Finding those legs, arms rise. And now right away, exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Send that leg back, lower down. Inhaling. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, left foot steps forward, right foot pivots. Coming up, arms rise. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, hop your feet forward, halfway lifting on the arrival. Exhale, fold forward, and inhale, sit down, arms rise, Utkatasana, and back to Samastiti. Okay, so that is all done in the lead Ashtanga primary series, also with the Sanskrit counting. So now let me see if I can do it while I instruct you. Okay, so you're coming into Utkatasana first, so bend your knees. Ekam, inhale. Dve, exhale, hands to the mat, fold forward. Trini, inhale, halfway lift. Chatwari, chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, downward facing dog. So Sapta, right foot steps forward, coming into warrior one. On the right side. Ashta, exhale, hands back down to the mat, lower down. Okay, that's Ashta. Nava, inhale, upward facing dog. Dasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Ekadasha, left foot steps forward. Coming into warrior one on the left side. Devadasha, hands down to the mat. Chaturanga. Triodasha. Inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, hop forward thumb. Let's see, what was that? Sorry. Chaturanga. Panchanasha. Inhale, halfway lift. Shodasha, exhale, fold. And Saptadasha, which is 17. Utkatasana. And back to Samasthiti. All right, let's do that again. Akam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatwari, exhale. Pancha, inhale. Shat, exhale. Sapta, inhale. Ashta, exhale. Nava, inhale. Dasha, exhale. Ekadasha, inhale. Devadasha, exhale. Triodasha, exhale. Chaturanga, which is 14. Exhale. We're here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. This is 5. Bend your knees. Okay, so that was 14, 15. Panchanasha. Inhale, halfway lift. Shodasha. Exhale, fold. And Saptadasha. Utkatasana. Samasthiti. All right, how'd it go? All right, so I think that's enough of the sun salutations, breaking them down. Let's just go ahead and go through the last 3 poses of the closing sequence. So you would do your sun salutations, the standing poses, the seated poses, and then you would come into the closing sequence. And there's more. There's a shoulder stand sequence, and then there's the Shirshasana sequence, the headstand. And then finally you end with these 3 poses. And in the Ashtanga Yoga sequence, it's very much encouraged that no matter what you do on your mat, because it is your practice, you come to it and you do what you can for that day, or what poses the teacher has given you up to a certain point. So how it works is, as you get comfortable with the poses in the sequence, you get the next pose in line, and you kind of struggle and work with that, and it makes your practice a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. And the sun salutations are like the front end of it, and the back end of it is the closing sequence. So no matter what you have in the middle, you always have these ends. But on some days, you might be limited on time. You always do these 3 poses. So if you don't have a lotus, you're just coming into like a Sukhasana, easy seated pose. And if your shoulders can't, so I'm going to come into lotus, but if you can't reach your toes here, sometimes you can use a little bit of a prop, so like a washcloth or something to connect to grabbing your foot, but you also have the option to just hold your elbows in your hands, okay? So you're gonna see that in just a minute. So always the right foot comes in when you're coming into lotus first, per the tradition, and then left leg. And so if you're doing something different, it's intentional for some other reason, okay? And then so you've got a nice tight lotus, if you have that, and your shoulders are able, you take your left arm first to get this top foot. You reach it around and you grab that toe, okay? And then, let's see if I can get it today. So normally the practice helps you find this opening so that you're able to get there. All right, I got it. But not every day you can get it. And you kind of find that extension here. And then exhale. We fold forward for 10 breaths. So you can be cradling your elbows. 1. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Inhale. Exhale. 6. Inhale. Exhale. 7. Inhale. Exhale. 8. Inhale. Exhale. 9. And one last time. Inhale. Exhale. 10. Inhale. Sit on up and release your feet or your elbows. And you're going to go ahead and bring your thumb and your first finger, the very tips together. Bring the other fingers right next to each other together. And extend your arms straight, draping your fingers towards the floor, keeping that mudra, the thumb and the index finger together. And so here, I tend to try and roll my shoulders back, find that length in my spine, but keep my ribs from popping out, so I have to pull my ribs in. And we're breathing here for 10 more breaths. And you try and make it as slow as possible. That's 5. Gazing down the nose. Inhale 10. And exhale. Okay, this next part is called Uputihi. And if you have a lotus, it's a lot easier than if you're in Sukhasana. If you're in Sukhasana, your feet will drop down towards the mat, and you just try and lift the butt off the mat that way, okay? So, but if you're in a lotus, it's a lot easier. And you can also just to kind of get a feel for it, you can use some blocks. So if you want to use the blocks, they're just behind the knees. You might need to kind of bring them in, maybe even if your lotus is kind of wide. And you're going to lean your weight forward into them and lift up. Okay, we're here for 10 breaths. I'll count fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and lower down. All right. Let's go ahead. And you'll come into Shavasana from there and just rest. And the purpose of Shavasana is to fully integrate the practice and let your body kind of assimilate it. They say it's the most important pose and that it's also the most difficult. It's hard to just lie here, awake and alert, and yet not moving. But just do your best. So you let go of that breath control. No longer is the sound. And it doesn't matter. You let your body take over what it naturally does. And so your breath will become a little more shallow. And maybe a little less often you'll be breathing. As your body just naturally falls into a pattern of what it needs to sustain you. And as you lie here, just notice how the weight of your body can just sink into the earth, into the ground, and the ground supports you. Even if you were on sand at the beach, even if you sunk in a little bit, there's a point where the earth has you. And just notice. So go ahead and scan your body. And maybe notice if those sensations that you noticed at the beginning of the practice have changed. Are they gone? And now that you've noticed that, take some time to notice, is there any place where you're still holding on? And see if I can find some deep healing here and a little more relaxation. Now you're welcome to hang out here as long as you want, but if you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, maybe you go ahead and reach your arms up overhead, extend your legs long. I do this when I wake up in the morning. I try to stretch my body long, find that length in my spine. And then go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Hug those knees. Maybe roll side to side, massaging your sacrum, your low back into the mat. And go ahead and bring one arm up overhead and let the knees fall over to that same side and just rest on your side for just a couple breaths. And come on up to seated. You can do this with your eyes closed. Ideally, you do it with your eyes closed, and you just come in to a nice, comfortable seat. Sitting upright, bring your hands in prayer in front of your heart. And we'll end with one O. Exhale. And inhale. I hope you enjoyed practicing with me today, and thank you so much for letting me share a little bit of my perspective from my practice. Namaste.